For my next guest, I'm going to put on this hat. This is one of my neighbor's son's hats, and so I want to thank Grant Eifert for this hat. I don't really want to wear it, but I'm going to wear it for my next guest because Phil Gerbyshak is going to come on next. And Phil Gerbyshak is a guy I've known for a couple of years, and I'm going to put him on the line in just a second. So Phil, if you're listening, I'm going to have you join me in just a sec. Here's why. Here's why I'm wearing this hat for Phil. Because Phil is one of the most creative guys I know. And Phil Gerbyshak is a smart guy. He is an amazing blogger. He is an amazing networker. You're seeing some connections here, aren't you, Guy? I can't wear this hat. I'm sorry. The connections are how many folks have been on here are bloggers. Some of whom I've never met personally. I have met Phil a couple of times, but you know, people who are great networkers are often great bloggers and vice versa. It's like when Pete the Planner was on earlier, Guy, and I said, you know, people drink when they smoke and they smoke when they drink. If you consider yourself to be a good networker and you're not blogging, you should be. If you're a blogger, think about what you're learning from that process to make you a better offline relationship builder as well. And one of the best relationship builders I know, one of the most creative guys I know, lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His name is Phil Gerbyshak. Phil Gerbyshak.
Kevin Eikenberry.
Now, see, I asked Phil way back if he could get on, and he's probably been so busy he didn't have a chance. And then all of a sudden, I get a message from Jenny saying Phil Gerbyshak wants to come on at 3 o'clock. I said, rock on. So, welcome, Phil.
Thank you, Kevin. It's good to talk to you and good to see you live.
Well, yeah, you can see me. I'm not looking at that, so that's probably just as well. I've just scrolled the screen down. Guy is looking for how people can find you. So it's your Twitter is Phil Gerb, right?
That's correct.
Phil Gerb is your Twitter. You got to follow this guy. And the best place to find Phil is he's the famous and long-lasting blogger at slackermanager.com, right?
That's correct.
All right.
Or you can try to spell Phil Gerbyshak.
That's why I just said slackermanager.com. I was born at night, Phil, but it wasn't last night.
That's right.
So that guy says that's where I know Phil from. So Phil and I met at an event the same time that I met Joe Hewer. Yes?
Well, that was the second time we met. Remember, I can't.
Well, oh yes, that was the second time. I was trying to connect back to that. Was it the same year? And I think it was.
It was.
The same year. And Phil knows Joe Hewer. Phil probably knows 2/3 of the guests that have been on this show. And the ones he doesn't, he should. So Phil, you've got a list now. But Phil and I met the first time, actually. He did come to Indianapolis. We ate at a Bob Evans. He was coming to give a speech in town. He says, Kevin, can we meet? We had lunch, we had breakfast at Bob Evans, and that Bob Evans is now closed and has been demolished. Phil, I don't think it has anything to do with you and me. So, so tell us, since this is one of these wonderful impromptu deals, tell us, first of all, we have a question. Is Phil a manager who slacks, or a manager of slacks, or a manager of those who slack? So why don't we start with that question?
Sure, the answer is none of the above. He's a manager who finds slack and finds space to be a better manager and helps folks be more efficient and find that slack in the managing that they need to do.
And that's a fabulous answer. And I would say that all of us as leaders and managers think we have so much to do, and we're so busy, we got no time in our calendar. And I think the way you answered that question is absolutely critical, Phil, to us realizing that it is our responsibility to find that slack because it's there, right?
Yes,
just like Wally was saying a second ago, and I know you know Wally,
Yep.
was saying a second ago that you got to make the time, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So that's fantastic. And one of the ways to make that time, you may not be a full-length book reader. You want to pick a blog to read. You've heard about several of those today, but one of them you ought to be reading is Slacker Manager because it's really fantastic. And Phil is the current and longest-running mastermind of that blog. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, we're just going off the cuff here, right? So I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions. I'll ask you the same thing I asked Phil. But what are you reading now?
Wow, what am I reading right now? I'm reading Sylvia LaFair's Don't Bring It to Work, and next will be The Levity Effect by Adrian Gothic, who wrote The Carrot Principle.
Okay. Oh, the carrot principle. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Can you send those, just to make sure we get those, can you send those in an email to Jenny or
Yep.
DM them to Jenny so we can get them on the
Absolutely.
list, everybody? And so the same other question as Phil, for leaders and managers, give me a book that you think's a must read.
Oh, geez, leaders and managers.
Just-
the books that must read besides yours, Kevin.
Well, thank you. Hold on. Let's do this right. I mean, besides remarkable leadership. Seriously, go ahead, Phil.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for the shameless plug.
Absolutely.
So absolutely, I think that's a good one. I think Growing Great Employees by Erica Anderson is absolutely critical.
Erica would have been a great guest. I should have had Erica on here.
Yep.
Next
Erica's-
show. Next note for the next one, the next party.
Yeah, Erica's fantastic, and then anything by Marcus Buckingham.
It's pretty good. Pretty
Yeah.
good list.
Yeah, I mean, his Now Discover Your Strengths and First Break All the Rules changed the way that I think about management. So I would say those two are, if you read nothing else, read those two, and then Kevin, I'd say you and Erica are very close second. Good on that.
I'll take that. I'll take that, Phil. Thanks a lot. So I've been sort of talking about Slacker Manager. Tell us a little bit more about, for people that haven't been there, the uninitiated, tell people a little bit more about Slacker Manager. And then the other question for you would be, tell us about your book.
Sure. So Slacker Manager is all about finding the margin, the space to be a better manager. So I offer tips and tricks on how you can be a more authentic, a more real manager. And I interview great people on my site. I like to share. It's not all about me. It's all about those who read. So if there's a topic that I'm missing, I'd love to hear about it. Love to share it. And I do book reviews, and really anything that can help you be more effective faster is really what I'm going to be focusing on Slacker Manager.
And if you don't read Slacker Manager, he delivers. And I'll admit, Phil, that I don't read every single post, as I don't with almost everybody that I recommend. But I have read enough, long enough, to know that I've never been disappointed.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, it's every day. So
I know it is every day.
It is a bit. Yep, 30 articles a month, and that's every day. So it can be a lot, but the great thing is the power of search. Right, find what you want, throw the rest away, and get some nuggets.
Yep, absolutely. So now, tell us about your book.
So 10 ways to make it great.
So hold on, you got to say that slower, Phil. 10 ways to make it great.
Yep, 10
Okay.
ways to make it great. MakeItGreatBook.com will get you there. Get you a copy. I think they're on sale right now for $10. And it's all about 10 tips you can use to take your life from where it is to where you want it to be.
Yep, and it's in the chat, and that is right. And MakeItGreatBook.com, right?
Yes, correct.
So it's in the chat stream. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you didn't get that, now you've got it. Phil, give me a piece of wisdom.
A piece of wisdom. Wow.
A piece of wisdom.
Well,
From Phil Gerbyshak right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes.
well, my biggest piece of wisdom is this. Who you'll be in 5 years is the sum of the people you know and the things you learn. So if you can surround yourself with great people and keep learning every day, a little bit, doesn't have to be 100 things a day, learn one new thing a day. In 5 years, you're going to be 1,500 times better than the person who never learned anything and never met anybody new.
You know, that's a pretty good way to sum up this whole adventure that we've been on since 12/16, and don't seem to be anywhere near done. Phil, that is fabulous advice. I've given that advice. I try to live that advice. And so I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for sort of raising your hand and being being out there to say to Jenny, hey, I'm here, let's rock on. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for all the work you do online to inspire and educate us, and take good care of myself.
Thanks, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be on. Congratulations on 16 amazing years. And I want to send you a quick virtual noogie from Timothy Johnson.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks a lot, Phil.
So long, Kevin.
All right. Bye.